The Black Phone is the newest film from Blumhouse Pictures, but is this movie a return to form for writer-director Scott Derrickson? Let's find out. Although it was not his debut film, After Derrickson pretty much rocked the horror genre with the still excellent Sinister, I found myself to be really itching for him to come back to the horror genre after he had actually been playing around in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for the past few years. And I was so thrilled to hear that he would be returning to the horror genre, writing and directing the newest film from Blumhouse. Not only that, but it's a period piece adapting a short story written by Joe Hill, the son of Stephen King. Yes, please. Which is why I was so disappointed when I actually saw this movie, because I really did not like this film. And I know in saying that, I am a bit in the minority here, apparently, because this film seems to be doing pretty well critically, and I don't quite understand why. First and foremost, I want to start off by saying what I liked about this movie, because there are a few things. First off, Ethan Hawke as the Grabber is an excellent choice for a villain. The physicality that he brings to this role under that mask, which was actually designed by Tom Savini, is incredibly unnerving. He has this sort of kind of playful kind of innocence to him that I just found really creepy. I also really like the look and sound of the film as well. Derrickson implements the same grungy Super 8 aesthetic that he had in Sinister as well, because it not only fits the era of this film, but I think it really does set the mood quite well, because the film does have this very analog sort of quality to it, considering a lot of the film's dialogue even is over a rotary phone. So to capitalize on that, they utilize this aural effect, making these children sound like they are talking over the phone, even if they are standing just a few feet away from our protagonist. I found it really odd and creepy, and yeah, it's great. Unfortunately though, beyond that, and a handful of eerie moments here and there, there's really just not too much else I found about this film to work for me. And I think most of that is due to the fact that I just don't really understand what this movie is trying to convey. See, I am a firm believer that yes, movies in general, but specifically horror films, more oftentimes than not, are trying to communicate something than beyond what is just being portrayed on the screen. Night of the Living Dead is not just a movie about zombies. Jaws is not just a movie about sharks. And I think the same thing can be said for this film, because there are multiple instances where in this movie they are clearly attempting to make a statement on abusive relationships, particularly in regard to abuse from one's parents. The film makes connections between this kidnapping and how abuse can isolate and make victims feel trapped and like there really is no way out. But in that, understanding that you're not alone and there are others who have come before you and will come after you that can help you through this difficult situation. But somehow, and it truly baffles me, because this movie manages to, in some cases, be explicit enough to where the audience is able to recognize that the movie is attempting to make a point about domestic abuse, but in the same breath, the film is also vague enough in regards to the points that it actually makes about this topic, which make it feel immensely misguided and completely lacking in nuance. And because the film is so opaque about this topic, I think a lot of this movie is bringing up this topic, but the points that it makes about it I just found incredibly vague. And because of that, I think a lot of the points that the film seems to be making about domestic abuse is very misguided and kind of problematic, which although is pretty disappointing in and of itself, I think it's almost compounded because it's made even worse that this film as a horror movie, just straight up, and the suspense and terror that this film offers, I found to be very lackluster, which was so surprising. One of the most surprising things about this movie, in fact, not only because of those involved with this film, but also just kind of the subject matter at hand. This should be a very thrilling and suspenseful movie, and I didn't find it to be that really at all. You have this young boy who is attempting to escape this situation and is trying all of these different techniques to escape this kidnapper. Some things work, some things don't. And I think in him trying to navigate throughout these ideas and this trial and error, I thought it would have been a lot more suspenseful to have it feel like he is just moments away from being caught. And I don't want to be, too spoilery here. I need to be as vague as I can, but I just felt like a lot of the things that we see this character going through through in this movie I just found to be kind of pointless. Genuinely, I am not sure what the point of most of this movie was, and to the degree that I found the conclusion of this film and the way this movie wraps up to be so disappointing and so frustratingly stupid. Again, I can't say much without spoiling things, but I was just left scratching my head, and I'm still, to this day, bewildered. And all in all, The Black Phone on very few levels works for me. The motifs that run throughout this film are completely lacking in depth, which, given the subject matter, makes the end result feel misguided and problematic. And just from a genre suspense perspective, I also found this film left a lot to be desired, and I genuinely just don't quite understand what critics seem to see in this movie, because I think it's one of the most disappointing that I've seen in probably a few years. Don't get me wrong, I am thrilled to see that some people enjoy this movie. I really was looking forward to this film, and I was so excited to see what Scott Derrickson would do next, and I'm glad that people love this movie, but I am certainly not one of those people. So did you guys see The Black Phone? I would really love to know what you guys thought about it, so make sure you leave your thoughts and opinions down below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you liked today's video, and if you did, you can click on the link down below so you can subscribe to my channel to see more movie reviews and movie-related things. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.